All right, you guys are watching the Cam Rogers Show here on Chat Sports, Facebook Live, and YouTube, and so much more. Hit me up on Twitter at Mr. Rogers99 for the latest insight across the sporting world. Let's get to that Thursday night football preview here. We've got the Jets and the Browns doing battle. Bet DSI over under at 39.5. The Browns, folks, are the favorite at -3. How about that? A team that has not won since 2016 is indeed the favorite here. So you got the Jets. Let's go to them first. Sam Darnold with the pick six, if you will, on that Monday night game to kick things off for the season. Woo, here we go. But he ended up playing really well and won that game for the Jets. Not just him, of course, but the Jets went on to take down the Detroit Lions. So there's a win. But last week they laid an egg at home against the Miami Dolphins. Darnold looked like a rookie. Wide receivers were dropping the football. Darnold now has 3 interceptions through 2 games this year. So that's the deal with New York. Meanwhile, with Cleveland, oh boy, have they come so close so many times. Week 1 against the Pittsburgh Steelers, you thought it was in their hands in that game. Ended up being a tie. Not a loss, but a tie. And then last week against your eventual Super Bowl 53 champion, New Orleans Saints, it was super tight, and it should have been won if not for the kicker of the Browns to ruin it. So Jarvis Landry, of course, the new weapon there on the outside, as you see on your screen, has been just fantastic in his own regard. But from a team perspective, here's the problem with the Cleveland Browns. Like I said earlier, they don't have this killer instinct. They don't know how to win, I guess is the best way to say it. And when you haven't had a W in your column since 2016, it's kind of hard to shake that streak. Just think about it from a player perspective. Think about it as a coach. You haven't won a football game since December of 16. And it's just been so long. In these crisis, crucial moments, you may not know what play to call. You may not know what route to run. It's all those small little intricacies of playing the game of football that I think the Browns just don't have all tied up yet in a perfect knot. So in terms of this game, the Browns have been pretty darn fierce in terms of creating turnovers. You saw it against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 1, and they got after Drew Brees in Week 2. Myles Garrett is a legit threat as perhaps a defensive player of the year if he just absolutely balls out. So you got a pass rush. You got a pretty darn good secondary led by E.J. Gaines there, who comes on over from Buffalo. You got Jarvis Landry at the outside. No Josh Gordon anymore, which I think is interesting, but maybe he wouldn't have panned out in Cleveland anyway. Certainly was pointing in that direction. Antonio Callaway, he's a nice spark plug. You got David Njoku at tight end as well. I think tomorrow night is the night. Finally, the Cleveland Browns get into the win column, and they can just breathe and relax after that. So I'll get to my actual score and all that, but first, of course, clothing here at Chat Sports is provided by Mizzen and Main. Get one of these comfortable as F dress shirts for yourself. Comfortable.af is the website. Type away and buy one today. All right, so my pick, 23-21, the Cleveland Browns win this game. It's more of an indictment, though, on my ability to trust the Jets, which is kind of ironic here because the Browns are, well, perennial losers. But Sam Darnold on the road, it's going to be a primetime game, raucous crowd in the dog pound. The noise coming from the stadium in Cleveland will be much worse compared to Detroit. That I can tell you. So I think that's part of the equation. I still think Sam Darnold shouldn't be starting for the New York Jets. I was not on that bandwagon before the season. I think he's way too raw to be playing right now. McCown should be the quarterback, but that's, all done. So I think the Jets are going to struggle on the offensive side. I think Cleveland creates some turnovers. I think Tyrod Taylor is adequate enough, which is all he needs to do in this game here. And I think the Browns run the football effectively. Now, the Jets have a low-key good front seven, and they, too, have created some turnovers this year on the defensive side. So Tyrod Taylor's got to be really careful with the football in this game, and he usually is. But no fumbles. Can't have any fumbles or drops or anything like that. The Browns have to execute. 23-21, your final score. You can bet on this game at BetDSI, chatsports.com/bet. You see that promo code just for you guys, CAM120 at the bottom of your screen for a 120% deposit bonus. So who wins this game? B for Browns, J for Jets. I'm looking at the comments here. I thought I saw my guy Eric say Jets. Yes, he did. Donnie on Facebook Live says Browns finally win because it's a big game at home. I like that logic there. Going through some other picks as well. We got Tayan Hill saying Browns get their first actual win against the Jets. Absolutely. Michael on Facebook Live says Browns win. David as well saying Browns. So I guess you guys are listening to yours truly. Did I convince you? That's probably what happened, right? No, I'm sure you already had your mind made up before this preview. But yeah, I do think the Browns get the victory tomorrow night, 23-21, your final score. All right, folks, this has been the Cam Rogers Show here on Chat Sports, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and so much more. Continue the conversation on Twitter as well. You see my handle at Mr. Rogers99. Interact with me because I love interacting with all of you guys out there. I will be back here on Friday morning, 10 o'clock Eastern Time.